on this program, as you know, we take a lot of phone calls from libertarians, self-proclaimed libertarians, Ron Paulites, Alex Jonesites, Glenn Beckianites. They all seem to call themselves libertarians in one fashion or another. Who knows? I've had debates with Lee Doran, who's sort of a Republican libertarian, I guess, or Stefan Milieu, who is some type of, a philosophical libertarian who apparently the answer to everything from that philosophical libertarian is to simply had something to do with like making sure that everybody raises their kids well. I think was ultimately the key that unlocked the future happy society that we're going to get with libertarianism. So I'm always curious. I mean, we get a lot of this. I think this is actually an increasingly growing movement amongst the youth. I don't know the scope of it. I don't know how lasting it will be. There are obviously some aspects of libertarianism that are attractive for good reason. There is a desire not to have an imperial United States. There is ostensibly, I mean, we've taken, I would say, dozens, if not nearly 100 phone calls, probably 100 phone calls, maybe more, actually, over the past 2 years from libertarians. Not one of them has ever called in to talk about and complain about what I perceive as to be legitimate civil or any civil liberties. Very legitimate complaints about what the Obama administration has done in terms of civil liberties. Not one of them has ever done that. They've talked about the fear that we're losing our rights to purchase incandescent light bulbs or to buy motor vehicles that who may be less expensive because their gas tanks explode. We've heard
the fact that you can't pick and choose who enters your establishment.
Yeah, we've heard that it's problematic that I don't have the right to discriminate, even though I would personally, but that people should have the right to have racial preferences for certain people who enter into their restaurant. We've heard all of these things.
We've also heard reinstituting slavery. I think that's another important one to have.
I don't remember that one.
If a state wants to.
Well, yes.
You remember that call?
Yes. And so all sorts of talk about how the federal government is bad, but if the state government does the same thing, it's fine because it's in line with what this person thinks that one of the founding fathers thought at 3 a.m. when they were, brushing their wooden teeth. I have no idea. But so I'm always on the lookout as to whether or not this philosophy permeates the mainstream media. And we saw some of this craziness permeate the mainstream media in the form of Alex Jones going on the Piers Morgan show, which was, this is a sideshow. It's a carnival for the two of them. But it seems that this gun control debate, I don't know if that's the term of art these days, gun control. I think some people are like, I don't know what it means. There's another term that people are using now, like just sensible gun reform. It doesn't matter. And we've had people like this call this program talking about the New York State gun laws are problematic because it creates a slippery slope. It creates a slippery slope. There's a slippery slope that's being created when you say in New York State that you cannot own a military-grade automatic weapon. That creates a slippery slope. Now, I happen to be aware of 2 Supreme Court cases, including Heller, that have been decided in 2008 and 2010, that, as much as I don't necessarily like it, affirm that there is an individual right to bear arms. I know some of you strict constructionists and textualists and originalists will say, hey, wait a second, it doesn't say that in the in the Constitution. It says for a well-regulated militia to have the rights to bear arms. But come on, don't go all Scalia on me, except for when Scalia talks about it. But so the idea of a slippery slope is impossible in this regard unless we're able to get a new set of Supreme Court justices, or at least 2 or 3 ones to replace the right-wing block of 5, maybe 1 or 2 for that matter. So the slippery slope argument is sort of a joke, but we see it revived in one of the 2 clips that we're going to play for you in a moment. Piers Morgan last night, I'm not a huge fan of Piers Morgan, but my sister apparently somewhere in her travels was watching it, and she texted me. And I watch these news programs online in a special streaming site that I am not aware of. And it lags a little bit behind, so I was able to catch most of this interview. Apparently, there's a guy who, and what state is he in? Do we know? I don't know where this guy was and what state it was. But here's Piers Morgan interviewing a young man who, by the fact in this shot, we can see in the background a big Ron Paul banner, Ron Paulite banner, appears to be a Ron Paulite. He also is the proprietor of a pizza restaurant, which, as far as I can tell from the pictures,
It is all around pizza and deli from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Okay, so all around pizza deli in Virginia Beach, Virginia. As far as I can tell, the crust is a little bit thick for my tastes, but that's not the point here. He has started a promotion where if you wear your gun into the establishment, you get 15 or 20% off of your 2 big crust size pizza. And here's Piers Morgan asking him in this first clip as to why he's doing this. Here it is.
Right, but why do you want your pizzeria full of people armed to the teeth?
It actually makes me feel more safe.
Why?
It makes me feel more safe because these are responsible people. And if a criminal decides to do anything funny, I have these people to back me up.
How do you know the people that have come in to get your discount aren't mentally ill or criminals?
I guess because they can walk in on their own 2 feet and they drove here.
So people who can walk on their own 2 feet and who can drive a car are not mentally ill or criminals?
They're innocent until they're proven guilty.
I'm sorry, folks. But we have been listening to that clip for quite some time in the office, and
Mr. Lays of this pizzeria, please call into our show.
I'm not convinced he hasn't. So the criminals won't try anything funny because they've driven there or they walk in on their own 2 feet.
Only
Only
the handicapped are criminals.
Apparently, this guy has some very interesting theories on criminology. He is sharing on TV. And now, why he didn't just say, like, I'm just trying to make a point, solidarity with people who are willing to bring guns into my pizzeria, and it was a stunt. I mean, I don't know why, because, and I'll tell you why he didn't say it. Because he has been indoctrinated and believes these things.